I, 34M, separated from my wife in early 2023 and divorced in early 2024. It was a pretty nasty breakup and I moved to Chicago for a job to get away. I pretty much kept to myself at first but was friendly with a couple coworkers, John 26M and Mark 26M. They were younger than me but it was easier to bond with them as we were the only single guys in the office. We really hit it off this summer and hung out weekly, went to the Pitchfork Festival together and really started to click. I really felt like I was coming out of my shell. A month ago they were talking about their dating experiences and asked me about mine. I admitted I hadn't been on a date since my wife and they both kind of shut up and looked awkward. The next night we were out for drinks and they mentioned that they wanted to set me up with a friend of theirs, Sarah 26F. Mark showed me a picture of her on his phone and I thought she was cute and said okay. They both looked at each other with a weird smirk on their faces but agreed to set it up. I thought I knew what the look was about. She was a bigger girl and I'm a bigger guy so it made sense to them. But maybe they were unsure if they were being rude or not. I thought she was cute though so didn't bother me and let it slip out of my mind. We set it up for the next weekend and I went. When I arrived at the restaurant I spotted Sarah, waved and walked over but it was weird. Sarah acted like she didn't know me and was here meeting someone else. I pulled out my phone and told her Mark had set up the date and showed her the text from him with her picture. She looked at the phone for a second and looked like she was going to cry. I quickly apologized and told her I would leave if she was uncomfortable. She paused for a second and then assured me we should continue the date. I'll be honest, the first 20 minutes I almost got up and left. She looked miserable. I have no idea what was going on but she looked like she had just been told she was the worst person alive. I don't know what made me do it. I guess because it was going so poorly I just lost any nerves I had and was much more confident than I had been at the beginning of the date. Or maybe I just wanted to cheer her up. She was wearing a beautiful top that really showed off her cleavage so at one point when she was about to cry again, I just leaned in and said, "I think you are absolutely beautiful in that top. I'm sorry if I keep staring but everything about this makes me happy to be here." She stared at me for a second, blushed, smiled and actually became present for the date. We talked about her job, how she got to Chicago, how she had grown up with Mark and John. She mentioned she was trying to go through all the Criterion Collection films and we bonded over a shared goal of seeing them all and a shared annoyance that they add new films faster than we can watch them. After dinner we walked around downtown to the park and somehow stayed out until after midnight. I know because she was visibly upset about how to get home so I offered my place that was within walking distance. Honestly we didn't even have sex that night, we just talked and cuddled as we fell asleep. I told her about my divorce and how hurt I had been when I caught my wife blah, blah, blah. I hadn't actually said it out loud but Sarah just made me comfortable. We have been together ever since and the relationship is better than it ever was with my wife. I know it's only been a month but mark my words, I will marry this girl. But the reason I'm here is that Mark and John have been really weird about it. I asked Mark the next day why Sarah thought she was meeting someone else and he just said that Sarah didn't want a picture and he must have described me poorly. But when I talked about Sarah that Monday they both seemed off. They couldn't believe I had a good time and John has been really annoyed. Whenever I bring her up he leaves the room. They keep canceling on me too, mostly because I want to bring Sarah. We'll have plans and then when I say I want to bring her they will cancel. I think they might be jealous that I'm in a relationship. Not sure. I think I may bring this up with Sarah though and just see what's going on. The vibes have been super weird.